Well, good afternoon, guys, and happy Thursday to all of your sunshiny faces, guys. I've been up since 8 a.m., a little bit before 8 a.m., and today has been a crazy day. Yeah, guys. So I was woken up this morning at 8 a.m. because my dad called me, actually to tell me my mom was in a car accident this morning, which was definitely a little nerve-wracking. She had left this morning, and I woke up I heard her calling to Matthew, asking him to move the car normally she asks him to move the car if he didn't put the car, like his car in first. Wound up asking him to move it. I think I hear her normally standing at the bottom of the stairs yelling upstairs to him at about like 7:30 or so. And then I fell back asleep after that, and I thought this was like a couple hours later, and my phone's ringing, and so I was like, oh, it's my dad calling. I was like, that's weird, why is he calling me at 8 o'clock in the morning? And my initial thought was, like, you know, I told you guys how I chipped a tooth yesterday and I had a dentist appointment today, and you know, so I ended up thinking he was calling about that, like either that they had the appointment moved up earlier, or that they ended up wanting to reschedule it or something like that, you know, that there was a bigger emergency or something. So that's what I thought he was going to call me about, like either, oh, they actually have an appointment at, you know, like noon or something like that. Wanted to make sure that I knew way ahead of time, you know, that this was going to be an appointment at that time, or, you know, that it was canceled. But I also was thinking at the same time, I was like, it's really weird that he's calling at 8 in the morning, because, like, I mean, why not just call me later in the afternoon? Or at least a little bit later, like I probably was like, you know, at the earliest, normally I just start waking up about 8 o'clock. I mean, so I can get up earlier, but again, normally 8 o'clock is around the time I start to get up anyway, during like the weekdays. So yeah, he was calling me, and then he wanted Matthew actually to go over to where the accident was. He wanted to go and check to make sure my mom was, you know, okay and everything like that. Well, she actually ended up going in the ambulance to the hospital, because obviously, like, concerned for whiplash and any other type of like problems around her neck, especially considering the fact that she already, you know, all of her other neck issues. Sent Matthew over there, and originally then, so I told Matthew, I was like, you need to go over there. Like, it was only like maybe about 5 or 10 minutes away, where she was driving to, or where she had gotten to. And so he ended up driving out there, and then I talked to my mom on the phone, because I realized that she had actually tried to call me first, and I was sleeping. And then my dad tried to call me once, and I was still sleeping. And then the second time my dad called me was when, again, my alarm actually also started to go off, because then it was like right at 8 o'clock, so my alarm started going off, but I didn't wake up to hearing my phone ringing at all. So I slept through the first 2 phone calls and got the second one that my dad had made, and like I said, I answered that one. So then I get back in touch with my mom, and she's like, you know, I'm just really shaken up, and she's like, I don't know. She's like, my neck hurts. She was just most concerned about like what damage it had done to her neck and everything like that. And she was like, I'm scared to move my neck, I can't move it. And like, you know, she was definitely like very concerned on the phone and stuff like that. So then she was like, you know, don't send Matthew over here. There's no point in, you know, having him come over here for, you know, like they were blocking off the streets and stuff like that, because it ended up actually being like a multi-car accident. Like she was saying, you know, they had shut down the streets and stuff like that, and that Matthew couldn't really even get over there or anything. So I told him, I was like, Mom said don't go over there and stuff like that. So then I called my dad back, and he's like, why'd you tell Matthew not to go over there? We need to get information about the car and stuff like that. He's like, I don't know, you know, if it's like, is it totaled? Is it drivable? Is it not drivable? You know, what is going on and stuff like that. And also too, to just go check to make sure my mom was okay, because my mom's like, well, they're taking me to the hospital, like, you know, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, ended up where they took her to the hospital. Matthew ended up going there and just sort of like, I guess, sort of talked to the officers that were there on the scene. The car was not drivable. It has been a huge headache all day. So I've been up since 8 a.m., but I've literally been sitting like helping listen, you know, like my parents will be like, oh, I have to get that number for you or something like that, you know, for claims and for insurance and for like I said, my mom is also supposed to be having a procedure on Tuesday that she has to actually go to an MRI for on tomorrow, I think. And then she has something else, or appointment that she has to go to tomorrow, an MRI she has to go to on Saturday that she already had going on, but now because of this, and she has, like I said, she has to now bring this up to the doctors that she's going to see as well, that hopefully this won't impact anything. It most likely shouldn't, because it doesn't have anything to do with her neck that she has to go for, but like I said, it's a whole ton of stuff. So all day today, since 8 a.m., I've been sitting in the living room pretty much ever since my mom ended up getting home around, I don't know, maybe noon or 1 or 2 or something like that. Have been like helping, like jumping around, like, you know, my mom's like, oh, I'll get that incident report for you, and I'm like, oh, you left the paper in here, because she was talking to somebody else, or my dad was talking to somebody, or, you know, something like that. And then too, I have like tons and tons of family members like, is everything okay? Because originally my mom couldn't get a hold of me, Matthew, because he was also sleeping upstairs, or I think my dad, or maybe she did get a hold of my dad, but then she was calling like my grandma and my aunt and stuff like that. And so then they're all calling me like, oh, did you know that, you know, your mom was in a car accident? I was like, yes. Like, my aunt was the first one to call me, and then people were kind of like reaching out to me from there too, and I was like, yeah, I don't know anything else other than I talked to her, and you know that she's going to the hospital. But again, she ended up coming home. She has obviously like a ton of sore, her arm is totally sore. She does have like bruises, sort of bruises, I guess, and stuff like that. No open visible sores or anything like that. She didn't like get cut or anything, but like her knee hurts, her arm hurts, everything pretty much ended up being sort of checked out. But I guess our car is not drivable. Kind of had a little bit of an issue because again, I did have an emergency dentist appointment tonight. That wasn't crazy an emergency, like we could have obviously canceled if it had to be, but the dentist was kind of, I was like the last appointment for the day, and he ended up kind of like making sure that I was able to be seen, because we did tell him yesterday, like, you know, that I chipped my tooth and we didn't want to make sure anything worse was, you know, there's any other problems with it. And so we ran into a problem because we have one car that's, well, we have Matthew's car right now that isn't running. Then we have the Bug, but there's a couple issues with that. And then on top of that too, Matthew also needs it for work. So like tomorrow he has to work, and Saturday he has to work, and I think Sunday he has to work as well. And again, my mom has some stuff that she has to go to as well. So because our car is not drivable right now and is actually in a tow yard, that's a whole nother story, guys. There's still stuff that we have to try and get done tomorrow, and like my dad has to work, my mom now can't drive, and we don't have a car that she can drive. I don't know, it was a huge headache, guys. Like, it has been seriously like yeah. But the car, because it's not drivable, we will get a rental. So the rental we're not getting until, like I said, Saturday, which I think Matthew is taking my dad to go and get before he goes to work on Saturday, because my mom has an appointment that she has to go to on Saturday as well, because she has a procedure that she has on Tuesday, I believe. And so she's trying to keep this procedure, something about a surgery too that she also is going to have, but like she can't, basically has to make sure that she goes to these next 2 appointments that are tomorrow and Saturday, and then also to the one that is on the procedure that's on Tuesday. So yeah, guys, and none of that is actually having to do with her neck. Then again, that's a whole separate thing. Today has been crazy. I got absolutely nothing done on my planner for today, except for I'm going to check off that I went to the dentist. That is a big check mark. I got that done for today. Didn't edit, I didn't upload, I didn't get to dishes or laundry. I didn't end up, what was my other thing? Making my grocery list and cleaning the kitchen. And my grocery list too, I actually pretty much ended up doing it last night, and that was my weird, like, I don't know, my tongue, something is weird when I'm speaking, like making the TH sound, I think. It feels kind of weird. Anyways, yeah, I feel like I have to get totally used to like talking again and making the right words. Anyways, so the right sounds, I guess, with my like tongue and my teeth and stuff. This is very bizarre right now. So anyways, yeah, I did my grocery list last night. I don't know why, something was telling me, I was like, I should probably try and make my grocery list tonight. I was like, I have a little bit of time and stuff like that, and I'm kind of glad I did. But now we have a really weird thing about when are we supposed to go to the grocery store. So I think my dad might stop at the grocery stores after work tomorrow, and then on Sunday we're gonna go to the other stores, because like we normally get pizza from Caputo's on Fridays. They're $6 pizzas, and so yeah, like I said, my dad might stop at Jewel and at Caputo's tomorrow just on his way home and pick up our grocery stuff from there, and then we'll go to Aldi and Valley Produce and Menards. Well, I think we might go to Menards on Saturday during the day, but I like to do my grocery shopping at Valley Produce and Aldi in the morning, just because they're normally busy. And so in the mornings, the earlier I go, the less busy they are. So I want to try and go early in the morning. And Saturday we can't because my mom has an appointment and my dad has to get the car. And so yeah, like I said, we're waiting until Sunday most likely to go. Hopefully the car repair will not take super long. I think we only have a rental though for like 30 days or something like that, so I don't foresee it being super long, or maybe it's only 15 or 14 days or something like that. So I don't think that it'll be very long, especially since like they're going to be getting the car and taking it actually to go and get fixed like tomorrow. But I think they have to take it to a body shop and then to a mechanic as well. So I think there's like 2 different parts in there that they have to do. So yeah, it stinks, but there was actually a lot of not good that came out of it, but a lot of things that we were like, wow, we're really happy. We actually, like, my parents had just switched their insurance to a different insurance agency recently. That's probably better, and the car's so new too that we also had to have full coverage on it still. So that was another like good thing, is that it's completely our insurance, that's what we pay for on the car, so it's completely covered, and that we do also have a rental car you know, under insurance and stuff like that. So there's a lot of like good stuff that was involved in, you know, like that, you know, not that we found out, but like good things that, you know, kind of I guess came of this, that we were like, wow, this was actually a real like sort of a blessing that we did some steps in ahead of time to actually make sure that this wasn't as bad as it probably could be right now. And then again too, my mom actually having these doctor's appointments lined up for when she did, which is like literally tomorrow, although she'll most likely be insanely sore, it's that they can again do some more follow-up things on some other stuff as well. Like I think she's going to her primary care physician tomorrow, so they'll probably do some follow-up stuff as well on the subject of that and everything. And then I think she also has next Friday an appointment with her neck specialist. So like I said, there's a lot of stuff that kind of came up, but I think it's actually probably the best time that this could have happened, and that it could have been so much worse as well. So like I said, it was crazy, and the whole day is like spinning, and I was like, I don't even know how I got up 8 a.m. because I feel like I blinked and the day was practically over. I was at the dentist's office. I got my tooth fixed, guys, today, but it's a little weird, like the behind my tooth part, just because the dentist did filling both in the front and also, ooh, it's raining outside, also sort of in the behind part. I feel like I'm talking like my tongue keeps getting stuck on my tooth. It's a little bit of an adjustment, but I don't sound like I'm talking with a lisp anymore like I was yesterday. So yeah guys, I got my tooth all fixed in there. I don't know if you guys can tell. I can kind of see a little bit, like I can tell that where the white part of the actual filling is now, but it was nice. I didn't have to be numbed or anything like that. It was just a tiny little little spot at the bottom. It wasn't super bad. I definitely thought it was noticeable. My parents didn't, but when I showed the dentist, he was like, oh, that's definitely a good chip. He's like, you know, you definitely chipped it. And I was like, should I be concerned? Because this was, you know, I was like, I was drinking out of a straw when it happened. I was like, I wasn't doing anything reckless or, you know, anything like that, or wasn't chewing on hard candy or ice chips, or, you know, biting into an apple or something like that. I was like, I was literally drinking out of a plastic straw. I was like, is there a reason for concern? And I did have a small filling done behind the tooth, so he said that that was actually probably why. So he ended up putting filling also like the behind part, even though it was the front that ended up chipping, but also did like the whole thing to the back. So it feels a little weird behind. I can't speak, guys. It feels a little weird behind my, like, from my tongue on the back part of my tooth right now. I think it's just gonna take a little bit to get used to it, but it does kind of feel like, I don't know, maybe I should have asked, because he was like, now does everything feel normal, like, and let me, like, you know, kind of run my tongue over. He's like, no, bring your tongue over, you know, the tooth and stuff like that, and let me know if anything feels weird or anything. I was like, nope, it feels fine. And now that I've been biting down a little bit more, I've noticed that it seems like it's sticking out a little bit more, just because I think I have an over or an underbite or something like that. So it's like my tooth is like stopped on the new filling part and not actually like on the tooth, like it's not, the other tooth next to it is not matching up, if that makes sense. So like when I'm biting, like it's like more like this, instead of like, it should be like it's hitting both teeth in front, it's hitting one tooth, because that one's like kind of bulging out a little bit more just because of where the new filling was. But you guys know it's like such a tiny little itty bitty bit that you know, like is gonna, you know, I'm noticing it, I guess, is the point. But yeah, like getting a filling and stuff like that. But my mom was like, you know, if it's definitely something that's like super crazy and weird or anything like that, and it's still bothering you, you can obviously go back and have it probably just like, you know, sort of just use a drill and go down, you know, sand it down a little bit. But she's like, you'll also probably too, from just wearing, you know, biting and chewing and stuff like that, start to wear it down a little bit. And so, you know, it'll probably be like to the point that I'm used to, but it's just, it feels like it's my bite's a little bit different just because of it. So yeah, anyways, that was my dentist experience. But it's totally fine. I had my temperature checked and everything like that. But my dentist, guys, is so totally awesome. Like my favorite dentist in the world. Like I was like, once I get into the dentist, I was more nervous about, I didn't know what like the procedure was, you know, like going to a place that, like, you know, right now with COVID and stuff like that, like I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna bring my mask, wear it, you know, in the you know, the waiting room. But I know that like at certain places too, they're not even like, even if you're there to see like a dentist or a doctor or something like that, they're having you wait out in your car, and then they'll tell you when they're ready to see you to come in, so you're not waiting in the waiting room. So like, I don't know what kind of, like, you know, what I'm supposed to wait to expect or anything like that. So I guess that was just my bigger concern. But once I got into the dentist chair, I was like, I am totally fine, do whatever you gotta do. And it was, honestly guys, it was 20 minutes and I was done. And he's like, you're good, you can go. The longest part was him actually having like the little, like, I don't know, hot like laser thingy or whatever to get the filling to set. After that, that was like the longest part. He like easily did all the, you know, stuff and everything, and just kind of sanded it down a little bit, was like, I'm gonna put this stuff in, and then I was done. So yeah, it was like seriously like a 20-minute thing. He's like, we'll get you out of here, no time at all. And so yeah, it was awesome, got that taken care of. Really unfortunate, but like I said, everything could have been way worse. So